Hi, Lisa. All right, I'm going to do your 30-minute psychic reading, and you were telling me some interesting stuff about DNA. You want me to scan your DNA and see what I can find in there, what kind of reflections I can find. So some people want to know, like, am I a cat alien or a gray alien, or am I, what part of my DNA is associated with other alien beings in the universe? And people really want to, have a curiosity about that. And you were sharing some wisdom too about Cryon. It was kind of talking about DNA activation going on right now, which is cool. So I'm just going to relax and then we'll see what Spirit says, okay? About your DNA. I've never done this before, so we'll just see what comes, okay? All right. So I'm just seeing a woman right now. There's something cozy about the image. Even having her feet in slippers. She's just really cozy. She's like a long t-shirt, and so it's like she's in her jammies. She's really pretty. I mean, she's very naturally beautiful. She's very naturally beautiful, but does she know that? She know that she's naturally beautiful on the outside and on the inside? That's what they say. This is what they say about you. There's something very sleek about the way you look, sleek about the movements you make. Something very cat-like about it. But let's just see how this... They're not showing me anything with cats yet, but it kind of reminds me of that. Let's just see what else they share. They're showing me you. This is turning into something interesting. All right, so they're showing me this woman, right, with the slippers and the nightgown thing. But they're showing me what is a black sort of squiggly line this way, and then a squiggly line going the other way, and then it's yellow in there. So it's the lines are black, like a DNA spiral kind of thing. And then it's yellow. So that is what is becoming of your body and your form, is turning into this. Everything is focused on this right now. They're saying this is a really important focus. It's really important to know that you are galactic human beings, not human beings, galactic human beings. That's what they say. How do you take apart a DNA strand so that you can know your galactic heritage? How do you do it? Do you know? That's what they're asking me. I'm saying, well, I just wait for you to tell me. That's how I know. They're showing me these are on slides. They're taking slides with yellow background and then this black sort of lines. And then they're spreading them out kind of like sheets, and they're just identical sheets of sort of like, you could put it on a, what are those things called that are so archaic, nobody uses them anymore? An overhead projector or something. You just put the slides on there and then you can see. So that's what they all look like, slides. On a table. They're showing me 4 of them. We're looking at them. They're flipping this one the other way. They're flipping this one the other way. We are altering the components of the DNA makeup. They say DNA programming. Essential DNA for comprehension of self. I don't know how to define it. It's almost like the DNA is a program or study. Is sort of how they're sharing it with me. They're altering the components of the study. They're showing me you on a table, and now we are studying your components that make you who and what you are, that make you a divine creation. We are looking at your blood. We are looking at other elements that create human ego, even emotions, all the emotions that create the human ego. Ego that creates anger or rage or frustration. Creates emotions. But I'm saying, what about the emotion of love? We are exploring you. There are aliens that are here that seem to, boy, how do I describe it? They seem to have known about this all along. They seem to have understood this all along, and the creation of mankind. It's different than you could imagine. They're sort of grayer looking beings with the black eyes. They have different versions of stature, height, shaped heads, and stuff like that. These ones are really, they honestly, I'm quite surprised by the way this feels. It's extremely loving is the way this feels, despite how scientific it also is. There is a respect or appreciation for creation in this room, in this interaction with you. My spirit guides are saying nothing to fear. We're just sharing wisdom right now. And part of the wisdom is to share these faces and to create new versions of understanding about the human race and your connection with the human race. They're saying human beings see this as a scientific experiment and they feel violated like rats in a science lab. But it isn't quite what you think it is. It is actually a blessing and joyful interaction with the creation and a species of creation that is marvelous, is the only way that could be defined. They say, do you know how marvelous you are? You're marvelous. This is coming from in these grayer entities. They're not creeping me out. Sometimes I see them, I'm just like, ugh, they just kind of creep me out. You know, there's something weird about the way they feel. This is not at all creepy. In fact, this is really beautiful. The energy vibration is very loving, very beautiful. And it is not violating by any means. It is actually taking notice of every skin cell, every tissue in the body, on the outside and on the inside, in order to create a perfect creation. It was all love that inspired a perfect creation of mankind. It was love all along that inspired mankind. That's what they're saying. I'm telling you, the experience of love is beyond measure. It's unfathomable. They're asking, there's a very tiny vein of wisdom here about how do you define a DNA strand? By what the components are, so many components. Or by the fact that it was created out of love. They say you were created out of love, pure love. So what is your DNA strand made up of? They say love. Pure love for you, your creation, your unique creation, your creation, you, yourself are uniquely different than every other version of all the other human beings. Yet you're still part of the same creation, but you're uniquely different. It doesn't matter. It's sort of like you have human beings that are black or white or Native American or Indian or Asian or whatever. Have all these different races, but yet we are all of the same breed, but yet we are all still uniquely different. There's something important about that message needed to be said. They're showing me a guy with a basketball and he's bouncing it really, really well, and he's actually focusing on it and making sure he gets it back in his hand, and he's bouncing it. He's perfectly balanced with it. He's perfectly balanced when he picks the ball up and he does a jump and then shoots the ball in the air. Perfect balance. Perfect. He sees exactly where the ball needs to go and it just goes there. It's just perfect. How is he able to do it so perfectly? They're saying your DNA strand is identical to that. Perfect balance, perfectly in tune with ball and the floor, perfectly in tune with the goal and accomplishing the goal. They asked, do you feel your DNA strand is associated with that image? Do you feel like it is? They're asking, if you do not feel like it is, what is wrong between your DNA strand and this image of perfection? What is missing from your DNA strand that does not allow you to be like this? You're saying there's nothing. Your human mind made you believe that you could not be that perfect. Don't believe that. Don't let your mind tell you you're not perfect, because you are. It's what they're saying about you. Okay? It's fascinating because the soul chose your form, and the soul knew every element of your DNA makeup. The soul knew every component of your expression, your identity, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, everything that would be the makeup of the body. The soul knew, and the soul then merged with the physical body, or the experience with the density, and now is one in oneness. So the soul, it chose you, and you then are part of the soul. Everything is in oneness here, and that's what they're saying right now. See what else? They're talking about feeling blessed, feeling a sacredness, feeling a bondedness, feeling joy and love in the body you chose. Absolutely feeling that, and knowing you have so many reasons to rejoice. That's what they're saying. They're really emphasizing again that the soul, your soul, knew everything about your DNA strand. Every part of its reflection, every part of its identity, every thought, every emotion, every vulnerability, everything. It knew. And it chose to be you. It chose to be you. They're saying again, you have so many reasons to rejoice in that. Your soul chose to be you. There's so much love and adoration for the humankind. The way the human body looks, the way the human mind thinks, the way the emotions feel, are very loud and very powerful, can touch other beings on planets at a great distance without going anywhere at all, have the power to move the mind beyond the body, have the power to touch people, other people with emotions, living creations, not even on this planet. There's something I can't define in words, but it is absolute delight. It is considered absolute delight in human creation, and an extraordinary and awe sort of sensation about it. You see how important human beings are. Just as a side comment, we're made to believe that we are evil and that we are the virus that destroys all things. But the reality is we're that beautiful, that extraordinary, that loved, that adored. And so it is only a matter of choosing to be a part of that reflection of love. We can be that reflection of love. And it's important to know how much love was put into the creation of mankind. Human beings need to know that. That's what they're saying. But they're saying you asked, you need to know that. They're specifically emphasizing you. You asked, and I'm underlining you. Why you underline? You asked, you need to know that. Let's see what else. I keep asking, okay, so can we be a little superficial about it? Like, what makes up your DNA? But let's just see. I mean, we like to know this kind of stuff, but let's see if they will do it or not. Let's see if I can get some answers. Okay, they aren't going to do it. They're wanting you, but anybody who watches this video, to see that all creations comes from one, okay? They show me one as literally like a dot. So there's one. All things came from this one. And this one then expanded out and morphed in all different varieties, in all different ways, in all different faces and ways of thinking, communicating, feeling, and expressing. Everything came from this one. So are you trillions of different forms and faces? Yes. Or you just came from one immaculate, massive creative mind? Yes, you're both of those. You are many. They say you are many, but you are also one. You are one in many, is also what they say. But yet you are unique in many, also unique. See what else? They're showing me a sun. It's really hot and it's orangey yellow and it's got some sort of wavy lines on it and it's massive. So when I look in the sky is kind of white. It's not really blue. And I see this massive sort of sun right there and it's all I can see. There's an odd sort of climate and it's almost like everything's in a mirage or something. But there's some sort of camel with a man on it here, and everything is so dried out and it's got a gray sort of look to it. Even the ground and the sky sort of look like they're connected. He is looking up at the sun as well. He's got a lot of cloth wrapped around his head. And there's a piece sort of just dangling just right there. He's wearing white. He's got a sort of an overgrown sort of facial hair. It's kind of messy. It's not, clean, kept or anything. Now he's looking at me. He's asking me to come towards him. He wants to show me something. So I'm coming towards him. He's some sort of Middle Eastern looking man. He's pointing at the sun as well. But I don't think he's pointing at the sun. I think he's pointing at something else. He keeps emphasizing there's something else in the sky. I'm waiting for the wisdom to help me understand him. I'm only able to see a sun, and the sun is sort of changing colors slightly. So what was yellow and orange is now turning red and orange with some yellow. And it's just so bright, and it's changing colors that he keeps pointing at it, but his finger is slightly off to the side of the sun, but I can't see what's over there. I can only see the sun, and then the picture cuts off. And the sun is now just pure red now. I'm asking, are you afraid? Are you concerned? Are you happy? I'm asking him to help me understand what his feelings are about what he sees, since I can't see it. He says, I don't know who I am, and I don't know who I'm meant to be. I don't understand it. He shows me when he looks at my face, I look at his face and it changes shapes into many different faces. He says, who am I? I'm saying you're all of the faces, right? He says, I just want to be one. I just want to understand what being one person is like. Just me. So you want to understand what it's like to just be a human being? He's showing me many faces of different alien races. He says, I don't want to remember them all. I just want to know what this one is like. He gets off his camel and he's standing now before me. I say, well, then just choose to be a human, right? Now he takes off his head, literally, and shows me another face on the inside. He feels small inside of this big suit of being human, and it's hot in here. He's saying you need to learn how to accept who and what you are as a divine creation. It won't feel so overwhelming, stifling. Yes, can you help me? And I say, well, I'm here with you. He's showing me he's feeling burnt out. He's feeling burnt out. Just feels just like he can't control. I'm not really experiencing heat or exhaustion or anything. I'm just observing everything. And I know it's hot because of the way the scene is reflecting. And so he, though, is feeling the heat. He is feeling overwhelmed and burdened by the heat and all of that. So I'm just watching him and I'm trying to help him. So I'm taking off his clothing, which is his body, and on the inside is like a toothpick, is what it looks like, is a man that's made out of like toothpick. It hasn't come to me. They're just wanting me to continue to interact with it, or they would tell me what to do yet. They're showing me a woman. She's looking in the mirror and she's got reptilian scales. She has blonde hair. Her face is covered in reptilian scales. And she holds her hair back like this to put it in a ponytail. She can see very clearly what she looks like. She's not bothered. She loves her appearance. She thinks that she's beautiful. There's nothing evil about her at all. She just has reptilian scales with blonde hair. She finds the color of her skin to be the most beautiful color of green she's ever seen. And she finds herself to be absolutely beautiful. In a way that is not egotistical either. Because if she was a human being, I can tell that she would be extremely attractive, blonde woman. And people would just find her so stunning, and that her ego could just feed off of that very easily. But she chooses to be this appearance of reptilian. And she finds it to be beautiful and harmonic and balanced with her identity. She's getting up. She wants to go somewhere. She's putting her coat on. She's not afraid to show herself in public. Now she too, when she steps outside, is sort of hiding on the inside of her own body. Her head sort of goes into the neck, like underneath the skin. It goes inside here. And now it's just like shoulders and stuff that look totally human, but the face is hiding. What is hiding on the inside? See what else? I take this man who's a toothpick man. I mean, he's so thin. He's insanely thin. Even his midsection is just like an inch thin, you know, and his arms are an inch thin. His head is so, I mean, he's like a stick bug, you know, but it's insanely thin legs and everything. So I'm picking him up. I'm looking into him. I'm sharing love with him. He doesn't know how to receive love properly, he says. I don't know how to feel the love you're sharing with me. I say, just relax and be patient. I'm touching it where his heart would be. Obviously, it's very thin here, so I'm just putting my hand there and sharing energy with his heart. As I do this, he starts to come more together, and he's got sort of a greener skin, and he's got a very strange looking head. He's starting to fill out some, and he looks kind of like an insect, but he's not. His skin is green, but his skin isn't scaly either. It's more kind of insecty looking. It's a green color, but it's more of like a gray-green in some places, or bluer, but more of a green-blue, but it's not really bright. It's not a yellow-green. There's no yellow-green associated with his skin. His mouth is sort of strange. It's more like a beak kind of, but it's not a sharp beak. It's more rounded, and it just sort of kind of comes to a rounded point, like a rounded mountain here, and it's just sort of a mouth here. And then his sort of eyes are closed there. He doesn't have any hair on his body, but he's got sort of a egg-shaped head like this, and he's more filled out. There's more to him now. He just seems to be sleeping right now. So I'm just watching here. I'm supposed to heal him, they say. They keep wanting me to focus on him. This has something to do with your DNA strand that needs healing, and this is going to help you feel healing in your own life. I don't know what this is going to result with, but that's what they're saying. I'm just going to continue to channel love into his heart. There is a beacon of light that is in his heart now, and I'm pulling it out. It's just a tiny little flicker of light, just a little tiny one, like a speck of light. I'm holding it in my hand. I'm putting an orb around it to keep it safe. I'm putting it into my heart right now. I am walking away from the scene. I'm allowing him to be at rest now. I seem to know what to do with this. I'm walking away from the scene. I'm opening a door. I'm going through to the other side where I see you laying on the table. I open the orb and then I place this tiny little star into your heart. But it's not exactly in the heart. It's more so going in the mind. My intention was to put it in your heart, but it's paused out as if that's not where it goes. Let's just see where it goes here. No, it isn't supposed to go in the mind either. So I'm just setting it, it's levitating above you, right above where the heart would be, just right here, like this. And it is creating light that is going all around you, like that. So you're sitting inside of this portal of light. This light it's creating light on the inside now. And you're inhaling the energy. You're feeling the energy going into your head, going down the throat, shoulders, arms, hands, and then down the legs into the feet. There's something about this star, and you're creating something with the spinal column. And it's creating a straightening or something of that kind. A balance. They say infinite balance. Spine in infinite balance. Mind in infinite balance. Heart in infinite balance. Communication systems in infinite balance. So. Now all of this energy that's been surrounding you just turns into air, and you're inhaling all of it into your mouth. Inhaling all of it. So it's just going right into your mouth. You are awakening to who and what you are now. That's what they say. They call this awakening your DNA. You are quite in a state of knowing now of who and what you are as a creation, as a woman, as a unique identity in the infinite universe. You are standing on 2 feet and you are walking with perfect balance, and you know where you're going now in your life. It's amazing to watch. I'm in awe of this moment right now. We are all in a state of being quiet and allowing you to go as you are meant to. You know what you're meant to do. You're walking out of a doorway that leads into outer space. You feel as though you are a galactic human being now. An interdimensional being. Interdimensional creation. You feel you are connected with all the stars and all the lights, all of the infinite creations, as one and as many. They say we open your senses up to the galactic universe now. That's what they say. You literally are a bright star in the sky, and you're sort of just beacons of light going everywhere right now in all different directions. Touching every single star I can see in the sky. Touching, harmonizing, and being in balance with every single creation. Understanding every creation, because all the creations are one. Now you are part of the one mind, the one infinite creation that became a projection of all these faces, all these ways of being, all these expressions, all these identities. Now you are in oneness with all. That's what they say. They ask, do you feel as though you're in oneness with all? Say you are in oneness with all. That's what they say. Okay, so now we know, Lisa. Okay, well, thank you for that very unique and interesting experience. I'll be curious to see how you're feeling as the days pass. That was really extraordinary for me. Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to share this openly on YouTube as well, so we can all learn something from your amazing soul. And for those of you in the audience, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, please visit my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching.